Hi, YouTubers. So it's my last night in Italy, and I am going to be heading to Fiumicino Airport tomorrow morning. Let's see. So I kind of started off this travel vlog with um, traveling in Italy while black. I never quite hit that note. I was kind of just amazed by everything that I saw. So I never quite got there. Um, let's see. I'm going to be speaking kind of generally. So, generally, I had a great time in Rome. I really enjoyed it. Um, as far as my interactions, people were just very normal here. I don't know how else to describe it. I rarely felt that being black was an issue or a problem here. Um, there were a few times where I felt that it may have been a factor, but I'll be honest, the I almost feel bad saying this. It may even be a little bit racist for me to say this, but the least positive interactions I had here were not with native Italians. They were mostly with people who were not from here. Um, you know, those were the like coldest interactions or interactions that I felt were maybe racially motivated. Um, People from like other countries, who were living here and had businesses here, but are not Italian natives. That kind of stereotype about, like if you're in the hood and you have some, like in the hood in like America and you have the foreign people who own the bodegas and they follow you around or they're really unfriendly. You have those same type of people in Rome, and you have that sometimes you'll get that same sort of really unfriendly, just buy something, get out type of attitude. And that I kind of feel is racial. But it's so funny because those were the only people where I felt that vibe from for the most part. The Roman natives were generally pretty friendly. And even the ones who maybe seem standoffish, once they kind of see that you're polite and you're friendly, they're very, they kind of warm up very easily. Not like Paris. I mean, I had a great time. I mean, some aspects of my Paris trip were fun, but to be honest, definitely not the friendliest people. I think the friendliest people in Paris were like the younger generation, like the young Gen Yers. I'll say the same thing about Rome. The youngish, like teens and early 20s crowd is they're like, it seems like they really like to help tourists. I think it kind of makes them feel kind of grown up too. Like you've got this adult tourist who clearly has somewhere to be and you can help them. I think that's kind of part of it too, where they get really friendly. Excuse my hair bonnet, but you know how it is. I will have a dry fuzz ball in the morning. I have my 4C hair. It doesn't like to keep moisture in, so I do what I got to do. Um, but overall, very positive trip. I really enjoyed it. I just really, it's funny because I'm really a homebody. So having like, I, there's times I just wanted to chill and relax in my hotel room, but then I'm like, okay, you're in Italy, you got to go out. Like traveling forces you to go out because you don't want to pay X amount of dollars for your trip and then spend half of it in the hotel room. And I would actually do that because I am such a homebody to that degree. Like I have to force myself to go out. But yeah, Rome's very cool as far as being a black woman traveling in Rome. Um, for the most part, very comfortable. I don't really recommend going out at night. I think going out at night is a little sketchy, especially like in Rome. The best way to get around at times is to walk and cut through those little streets and those, but that's not necessarily the safest. So in my opinion, you really shouldn't be wandering around at night here. What else can I talk about? Let's see. You know what? One of the things that shocked me was the homeless population. It's not like in America, especially in Florida, where certain areas in Florida, they really try to keep homeless people um, out from view, because it's a tourist area and they don't want to have that visualization. Here, like literally, I arrived to Termini, the entire front of the building was lined with homeless people, and they have their whole little setup going on. I mean, it's actually it's very sad, but it's also kind of striking because you realize like, the police, there's no real intervention there. They're there, they're right there in your face, which I think is a good thing because sometimes I don't know, there are times, especially when I was in Orlando, I would feel a little annoyed with how they would try to like hide the homeless because it's like, well, there is a homeless problem and you're hiding it and it's still there. It's kind of a shallow move. Here, it's very much kind of in your face, which maybe isn't such a bad thing, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know Italian politics or what the movements are at this current time. I don't know if something's actively being done about it. But it's just a very striking sight. That's really all I had to say about it. It's very striking to see kind of the homeless right there in your face, right there at Termini, in your face. So that's one aspect. As far as let's see, as far as the attractions, I did not see that many attractions. I saw the Colosseum, I saw David, Vatican, um, yeah, the Vatican Museum. I did not get to go inside. Um, what do you call it? I'm sorry, inside St. Peter's. That was a whole mishap. I'll tell you guys about that later. But I didn't get to go inside. But it wasn't really that big on my list anyway. I know it's a phenomenal cathedral, but I was really pretty much everything I really wanted to see, I got to see. So very satisfying trip. What I'm gonna say is there's nothing there that was overrated or like, oh yeah, that's nice, or everything was absolutely blew me away. Um, the Sistine Chapel was unbelievable. It was not just pretty pictures on the ceiling. It is as if it looks like the paintings are alive and coming at you and popping out of the ceiling. They don't even really look like paintings. They look like actual figures on the ceiling. It's so incredible. Um, Vatican Museum in general was just pure opulence. Um, everything was just opulent. Just the entryway to different parts of the museum that weren't even part of the display were incredibly opulent. Um, just unbelievable. Michelangelo's David, phenomenal. Um, you can look at the statue of David and literally every muscle, even those kind of subtle musculature underneath the thighs, even that was captured in the sculpture, which I think is just amazing. I've never seen any work of art like that in my life, where it just literally looks like a cast was poured, or something was poured to make a cast, and that's the result. I just can't wrap my head around someone being able to carve that into stone. That to me is incredible. Um, some people just have an incredible gift. It really can't. To me, that's almost like a miraculous piece of art. I can see why it's so celebrated. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, in general, this is the type of city you almost think you could live in. Kind of like when I visit New York, I always think, I could really live here. But then you realize that on my income, I would not be living in the places that I'm visiting. I'd probably be living in some awful area because, I mean, that's pretty much what this tourist industry worldwide is designed to do. It's designed to make you fall in love with the place. But of course, visiting somewhere and moving somewhere are two totally different things. So, but yes, this is as a Black American woman, this trip was phenomenal. I felt very at ease here. Like I said, most of my Any negative experiences I had were few and were with people who apparently did not appear to be ethnic Italians to begin with. So I think Black Americans who have been in certain bodegas know what I'm talking about. you know, certain people, they move in, they want your money, they want your business, but they don't like the people. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, a phenomenal experience. So I'm looking to travel again next year. I think my next destination will be Machu Picchu in Peru. I would love to climb to the top. I sure as hell am not doing that, whatever it is, 4 day long track. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing that little train ride and maybe just walking for a little bit. But I think that's gonna be my next destination for sure. Machu Picchu. I'm gonna try to make that happen next year. Um, Overall, like I said, great trip, great trip. I really need to try find some travel buddies though. Like I was telling my friend, who's also my neighbor, that I really need to commit to getting some people together to travel with, because I've kind of always said, oh, traveling with people is so much drama, blah blah blah. But honestly, like you'll come across something that you just know you would have so much more fun if someone else was there. So it is, I think it is good to travel by yourself, but it comes time to where like, okay, you can travel by yourself, but maybe it's time to get a little posse together. So we'll see if I can make that happen. If not, then hey, I mean, at least I'm getting to travel. That's something that I wasn't always sure I'd be able to do. So I'm really happy that I'm able to do it, and I'm able to really kind of live my best life, which is my goal for the new year. Live my best life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I would love to answer any. I mean, I feel like I was kind of all over the place with this video, but if there's any specific questions you guys have or anything you want to contribute, just let me know. I would love to find out, if any of you have traveled to Rome or to other parts of Italy, or how your experience was. And just let me know, okay? So I'm going to go to bed so I can wake up bright and early tomorrow and kind of start my journey back home. All right, good night, guys.